What practical steps can help control anger? Very good question. Okay. Um, right. So, firstly, anger is something Allah created with the wisdom, right? So, you're meant to have this quality of anger within you, the ability to get angry. And if this was a defect, then the Messenger of Allah, alayhi salatu wasalam, would not have, got angry. Rather, it's anger that's controlled and manifested appropriately, which is the right thing. So if you imagine someone never got angry for anything, like burglars could break into his house and beat his wife and children up and whatever, and he's like, yeah, bro, chill, it's all right, take what you want, do what you want to them, it's okay. That's not right, because good and bad, and justice and injustice are things that our deen teaches us, and we're supposed to do what you can to prevent injustice. So if no one got angry, then there's a problem. And من استغضب ولم يغضب فهو حمار, as Imam al-Shafi'i said, that whoever is provoked to anger where he should have got angry but doesn't, then he's a donkey. Like, he doesn't understand what proper conduct is, right? And like a normal, we have this thing called ghaira in Islam, where for example, Allah, if a man finds out, there's another man going up to his wife, asking her for her phone number, or trying to speak inappropriately with her, and a normal believing man from a healthy society would get angry and say, look, what you doing, this is my wife. And in the absence of this, where they're like, someone says, they have open relationships, yeah, you see who you want and I'll see who I want, and we'll come back, and this sort of thing, it's a lack of an understanding of what is, what it is to be human, in a sense as well. But you know there's a lack of proper morals and values. That's what it is. But in any case, people can choose their action, and they're free to live how they want, right? And everyone will stand before God on the day of judgment. So so anger has a place, right? Anger has a place. Now, anger, when a person just venting, or the person just explodes whenever something doesn't go their way, or just for whatever reason, that is blameworthy. That is blameworthy. And so sometimes you do get people who actually can't manage their anger, and then they try and justify, oh, it's a righteous fury. No, no, just and you see people trying to justify harsh treatment, and they say, oh, look, it's a sunnah to get angry in such a situation, when really it's actually just ego. So, okay, how do you deal with anger? The Sahabi came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he asked, he said, Awsini, give me some really beneficial, lasting advice. He said, La taghdab. And the man kept asking. So the commentators say that maybe he thought that I need more, and the messenger kept saying, La taghdab. So don't get angry. So the scholars have said regarding this, you can understand it in two ways. One, don't actually get angry when when it's not a major thing. So this requires, and this is the higher approach, it requires training yourself to develop the quality of hilm. Hilm is where you're clement. You can control the fire that rises before it comes to the mouth, and you say all these things. The fire that rises, you stop it, you control it, and you push it down. Right? It's not a case of it's not a case of suppressing your feelings. It's a case of recognizing that it's not required here. And so you'll see people who are just incredibly calm, because they save the manifestation of anger for a time it's required. So they've trained themselves. So train yourself. And how do you do that? Let's look at, so with anything you have to look at the root causes. And the root cause, a lot of the times people, so sometimes people are just have trauma. They have a lot of trauma, they have a lot of problems going on, and they can't regulate their emotions. So for someone like this, go find a therapist and help yourself. Help yourself regulate your anger. And sometimes, if they're being oppressed or whatever, and the anger might be right, just justified. But if you need it, especially people who've had like traumatic childhoods and things like this, go get some therapy. The second thing is, sometimes people are just stressed. So if you imagine a cup, and if it's a quarter of the way full, that is your normal everyday stress that you can handle. And then the other three quarters are empty. So when new things come in, you've got the capacity to contain them. But if your cup is 90% full just through living, right, because of all the stresses in your life, and then when something else gets poured in, of course you're going to get angry, and it's going to happen. So trying to reduce that stress, right? So because anger and how it manifests, it's not always just someone who's not worked on themselves, right? There are genuine reasons why people do feel angry. And so another potential cause is you're spoiled. And so someone might not like hearing this, but if you've always got your way, and whenever you said, oh, I want this, and mommy and daddy went and turned the world upside down just to get you it, and that's how you think you deserve to be treated, going and so on, everyone has to open the door for me, and put my shoes out for me, and all of this stuff, then you're spoiled. And part of the treatment there is to recognize, well, you know what, maybe I don't deserve all of this, because in reality, what did we say earlier about the Sahaba? That had it not been for Allah's favor and mercy, they wouldn't have been purified. They wouldn't have been, had such high ranks. So it's one of those things. If someone's, not controlling their anger because, they think that they deserve special treatment, then there's a problem. If you think everyone has to be and act according to my specific standards, well, newsflash, there's like 8 billion other people around, and no, and they're not always going to either. So, so these are some of the causes. And next time you get angry, keep asking yourself why, and try and find the actual reason inside. You keep asking the question why. Why did I get angry? Because he did this. But why did that anger me? Because of this. Or why did that anger me? And eventually you will get to the cause, the root cause. Okay. And then there's a second aspect, which is, so the first meaning we said, don't get angry, as in control it. Train yourself to not get, to not explode for every reason. And the second one is, it means control your response. So train yourself, like, even if I'm angry, I'm not going to use foul language. Even if I'm angry, I'm not going to, hit anything or anyone. And that is also part of, not getting angry in that sense. And then, we have hadith and we have instructions from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to change your situation. So if you're stood up, he said, sit down. If you're sat, go lie down. Wudu, we know that, water, especially cold water, it affects the nervous system, and it helps you cool down. And your anger a bit. So, and just choose to not be someone who lets his anger just fester. If someone's done something to you, you see them the next day, you can just say, no, I'm not going to look at them, I don't care, he did this, he did that. Or you can say, it doesn't matter. If it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, innit? And you say, okay, for the sake of Allah, you say, how are you doing? You okay? You shake hands and move on. Right. And obviously general advice, and there are specifics, but that's how you can understand it, and Allah knows best.
La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah.